What's up, y'all? This is Dion, aka Buddha Hustler. Things are doing great right now in terms of poker today. I just got finished delivering to the Five Below store in Brooklyn on Atlantic Avenue. So I'm about to head over to Queens. I got to get back on the turnpike going north so I can go over the George Washington Bridge. Sorry, I got a bag of M&Ms in my hand. I need a little bit of sugar because that was a lot delivering those carts to that particular store. It made me wait a while too. So the reason why I want to make this video is because I tried to make a video while I was doing the delivery and it just wasn't working. Here, let me show you what I mean. I know. It was personal. Just getting finished with gardening. So yeah, so my voice was going in and out. It was getting muffled and everything. I said, you know what? Let me just make it all over again. Even though it was a lot, I was talking a lot, as you can see. But I want to make this video because there is a certain concept. I researched it to see if this concept actually exists in poker. I don't know if it does or if it doesn't. Please, please, please leave a comment down below because I really want to know if this is an actual poker concept. I don't want to say that you heard it here first and come to find out you heard it before in other places or other poker players have talked about it before. I'm gonna put a link below of my video days ago. Days ago, I did a video where I was saying that, you know, something that you can do, like in online poker, if you join a table, right, and you are losing like crazy, like every 10 hands you play, you lose 8 or 9 of them. Let's say you have, you know, ace queen in your hand and ace jack 3 comes out on the flop rainbow and you bet and everybody folds except one person and you bet on the turn and you bet on the river and come to find out they have ace king and you had ace queen. So because the king is more than a queen, that person wins the hand. But let's say that happens to you repeatedly over and over and over. You have jack 10, they have queen 10. You have jack queen. Somebody has king queen or somebody has ace jack. Let's say for instance, and then also let's say that you know, you have a high pair, they have 2 pair. You have 2 pairs, somebody else has 3 of a kind. You have 3 of a kind, somebody else has a straight. Like every single time you play, that's happening to you, right? And there's a video that I made about that. And what I was saying is that maybe a good thing to do is to leave that table. Get out of that table and go find another table. Even if you have to find a table with higher stakes, that's exactly what I did. I was losing literally, like out of every 8 hands I was playing, I was losing 6 of them. And what happened was when I went to another table and it was even a higher stakes table, it switched. It did a 180. Instead of me losing 6 out of every 8 hands, I was winning 6 out of every 8 hands. So that was the video that I made a couple days ago, and I'll put a link below. The reason why I'm making this particular video is because I've been thinking about a concept to also help with that same situation. If you're in that same situation where you're just, having a bad run, okay? You're having a bad run. Meaning that, you just, you're doing all the right things too. You're doing everything you're supposed to be doing, but yet and still you're losing hands, okay? And the concept that I came up with, I don't know if I came up with this. Remember, I don't know if anybody has spoken about this before. Dead equity. Dead equity, or dead hand equity. Dead equity. So, the concept of dead equity I thought about is when you fold your hand and the board connects with it. You fold your hand, like let's say somebody under the gun goes all in, right? And you're in the big blind with ace-2 suited, right? You're thinking to yourself, this guy must have like aces, kings, queens. This guy must have. So let's say you fold that hand, somebody else calls the under the gun player, and out on the flop comes 5-2-2. And you could have had 3 of a kind twos, right? Or let's say something else like that happens. Let's say, for instance, that you have, let's say you have Jack 8, right? And let's say you have Jack 8 in the middle position, and under the gun +1 player, raises like let's say he 4-bets, and let's say you decide to fold, and out on the flop, now you have Jack 8, but out on the flop comes Queen 9-10, right? So you could have flopped a straight, right? Now, mind you, you can't play the hand because you folded. But that, to me, sorry, I'm going over. That right there is called dead equity. And that's what I think is a very important concept of poker when it comes to online. Because if you join a table, right, and you just, fold a few hands, right, and come to find out they're connecting with the flop, or they're connecting with the turn in the river, let's say you fold, let's say you fold Queen 3, and Ace Queen 3 comes out on the flop. Let's say you fold King 4 and 2 4s show up on the flop, or 1 4 shows up on the flop, and then on the river another 4 shows up. That lets you know that the board is connecting with your hands. And here's the thing: if the board is connected with your hands when you fold them, then the board is going to connect with your hands when you play them. There is a famous poker player by the name of Matusow. Okay, he actually did a documentary about his life, and I'm gonna put the link down below so that you can check it out. Matusow. All the poker players, every poker player should know who Matusow is. Matusow is one of the greats. He started in poker when it was like in its heyday. He's best friends with Phil Hellmuth, Daniel Negreanu. Like, he's a very famous poker player. And in that documentary that I saw, he said something that was very interesting, and I actually agree with it. He was saying that you can do all the best, you could do all the right things in poker. You could play optimal poker. You could play the best poker. And he was saying this about tournaments, but it does ring true about cash games too. He said that if you don't have the cards, if the board is not connecting with your hands, then it doesn't matter. You could be playing the best poker, but if the board doesn't connect with your hands, it doesn't matter, because you need the cards. But more importantly, you need the board to connect with those cards, because you could have ace queen and 8-10-3 rainbow can show up on the flop. I'm saying all this to say that a very important concept in poker, I would like to say that you heard it here first, is dead equity. Because if you show up on the table and you fold a couple hands and you see that they're connecting with the board, then they're going to connect with the board when you start playing. And that, my friends, is how you can also gain success in online poker, even on a possible bad run day. You may have heard it here first.